race fans, Ryan Aho here from the One to Go Show, bringing you another installment of the BuyRaceShirts.com One to Go Show Street Stock Power Rankings. Now, before we do, I want to have a couple shout outs in here. So this past weekend, guy that I competed with in the Super is kind of like this guy, good buddy of mine, Todd Carter from 8th at Lisbon, winning a tour race over there. I don't know though. Johnny might have been a little upset. Right now, his nephew, there was a little contact. Johnny slapped the wall. I think a tire went down. We'll let them two figure out. I'm not getting, if you've seen Todd Carter, I'm not getting in the middle of that one, I promise. But Todd Carter, tip of the cap, congrats on a win. Casey Usatis edging out Kyle Anderson in the Thriller at Jamestown. He's off to a big season as well. $1,000 to win over at Miller this past weekend. Kyle Bertram. Congratulations to him on a really nice win over at Miller. $1,000 payday in a street stock. That's a pretty fun one. So let's jump into it. The BuyRaceShirts.com One to Go Show Street Stock Top 10. Now, BuyRaceShirts.com. If you need hats, shirts, hoodies, jackets, apparels, banners, you name it, whatever you need. If you need it for your race team, your sponsors, clubs, whatever it is, go to BuyRaceShirts.com. Great pricing, great products for racers, by racers. That's BuyRaceShirts.com. Now, at number 10, might get a little grief for it, but guess what? It's my show. That's okay. Trey Hess inside the top 10 at number 10. Grand Forks, North Dakota driver. 13 shows. He's got 7 times on the podium. 3 wins on the year. Grand Forks, parking in Victory Lane this past weekend. Devil's Lake, he got another runner-up spot. Granite City, he made the trip over there on Sunday. Finished 4th, a great run there as well. Going to give him a slight nod over Seth Klostrike, who's been really good up in North Dakota as well. But Trey Hess traveling a little bit better. We're putting him inside the top 10 at number 10. At number 9, another North Dakota driver, Hunter Damagala from Mandan. Now, he didn't race this past weekend, so he couldn't really rise. He couldn't really fall. He's won 3 of 4 at Mandan. Doesn't travel a whole lot. He's in the middle of nowhere, right? Love to get him a little closer over. But one of my favorite guys to watch, and might possibly be 4 for 4, but he was on 7 cylinders one night. Damagala, he's really, really tough to beat. Doesn't matter who goes out to Mandan. He's the guy out there. At number 8. Had to fade this guy a bunch. 27P Tucker Peterson. So second generation guy here. This week, 4 DNFs. I don't know what happened. I didn't watch all the races. I got to be honest with you. All I saw was a stat line on this one. That is 5 straight DNFs for Tucker Peterson. Now he's got 4 wins, 8 podiums in 16 races. So you take all the DNFs out of there, the guy's in the top 3 every single night. You can't be DNFing that much, regardless if it's your fault or not. You got to stay out of trouble if you want to be up in the top 5 in the power rankings and in the WISSOTA national standings. Little bit, maybe it's a thing that he's just kind of growing a little bit. I remember when I was his age out there racing, I tore shit up. It just is what it is. So Tucker Peterson, a talented race car driver, got to clean up them DNFs a little bit, and you're going to be a little higher up. At number 7, Laurel, Montana drivers, Jeremy Castro in the 14. So 5 wins on the year, 9 podiums and 14 tries. Didn't race this past week. Now, Sheridan, Wyoming, not a lot of cars out there, but he's the guy. 4 for 4. He is undefeated at Sheridan. Castro, he was off to a good start, but man, the weather has been terrible. Talk about Petrov, who was in the top 10. He hasn't raced in like 2 or 3 weeks out there because all it does is rain. So hopefully they can get their season rolling here and get some more shows in. At number 6, and I'm in the top 10 last week. That turned out to maybe be a mistake. The 34 KOL, that's Colton Brower. Him and his brother, I'm telling you what, these are 2 very talented race car drivers. Dad was good as well. I know I raced against him a little bit. So did my pit guy. My pit guy told me he ran against him in a street stock. They're talking about that the other day. He was good in that as well. But 17 shows, 8 podiums, 4 wins. Now, his 5th, he got 5th at Granite City on Sunday, but that he had 4 straight wins prior to that. So his 4 wins came in a bunch right here at the end, including 3 this past weekend. So He won at KRA, Monty, and at Madison. Started a little further ahead of his brother there, so his brother's probably a little grumpy about the fact that little brother's stealing some wins, but I'm telling you what, these two are very good race car drivers. Colton Brower, inside the top 10, we have him at number 6. At number 5, one of my favorite guys to watch, super smooth race car driver, Auburndale, Wisconsin's Kyle Jeanette. So Jeanette did not race this weekend. There was no racing for him, but the second and first at the King of Dirt, pretty stout. Had a shot to win night number 1. We talked about that last week. Kyle Jeanette, extremely talented, kind of lives in central Wisconsin, so everywhere he races has to travel just a little bit. But when he does, he travels well, no matter where it is. I mean, heck, he won out in Vegas as well. Jeanette at number 5. At number 4, going to fade this guy just a little bit here. The Wolverine, Justin Vogel, going to put him at 4. Why are we going to put him at 4? Well, only one podium in his last 7 shows, and it was a third. Kind of in a slump. Come on, guy. He's going to put you on the non-hot list here. Kind of pick her up a little bit. So he does have 4 wins on the year. This weekend, he rained out. The features rained out at Aberdeen. Then he got a 4th, and he got a DNF. Lots of DNFs, up and down. It's just, I don't know what the deal is. Struggled at the King of Dirt a little bit, but he's going to get his wins. It's just the way Justin Vogel works things. I mean, it's like he's like a yo-yo, right? He's like high, low, win. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen with this guy. One thing you do know, it'll be exciting, whatever it is. Vogel at number 4. At number 3, Maria Bruxick. So this past weekend, she was at Aberdeen as well. Feature rained out. She got a DNF, and she got 3rd at Casino. A little bit more of a story behind that 3rd, though. She's up battling for the win, little contact with another car there, and right rear tire goes down, had to go in the pits, had to come back out, still got 3rd. If there's 5 more laps in that deal, so that might have been a worst to first deal right there for Bruxick. We're going to put her at number 3. She's got 5 wins on the season, and I'm just going to take a look here. Yeah, I think she's tied for the second most wins. There's a few of them that have 5. She's tied for the second most wins in Wissota Street Stock action. Maria Bruxick off to a good start. At number 2, Braden Brower, the 34 junior. So 6 wins on the year. He's leading the way. He has the most wins in Wissota Street Stock action right now. Now, they take your top 30 shows for a national championship. It's a race to 30. There's multiple drivers in this top 10 that will race enough to be in the conversation. Could this be his year? We'll find out. So tour races, you got a 2nd and a 3rd. This week, a DNF, 2 seconds and a 3rd. That's painful because 2 of them 2 seconds were behind his little brother. That's even more painful. So he's there. I mean, every single night he's in the conversation. I mean, you take a couple DNFs out of it, he's got 4 DNFs, right? He's got 1 4th. Everything else has been on the podium. So 15 podiums in 20 tries. This kid's very, very talented. It's going to be tough to determine which of these Browers is better. They're both good. I kind of liked what they were doing early in the year where one would go one direction, one would go the other. And Braden's probably thinking, yeah, no shit, we should have did that this weekend too. But they didn't. So Braden Brower at number 2. And Impact Health Sharing is going to bring you the number 1 driver of the week. What is Impact Health Sharing? Impact Health Sharing is a great alternative to the overpriced cost of just a rising, insane cost of health insurance, right? If you're paying too much for health insurance, if you have employees, right, and you're paying too much for them, or you're looking at it and like, heck, I can't afford health insurance. I might have an alternative for you. That's 218-969-1380. Shoot me a text. I can get you a quick quote. I can get you some information that you can look at, and it might be able to help you out. So that's Impact Health Sharing. But the number 1 driver right now in the buyraceshirts.com one to go show street stock power rankings, the 40T of Nick Trainer. So this week, first at Ogilvy from 5th. He started 3rd row at the Big O, parked it in Victory Lane. Well, he talked about it. He won the prelude to the King of Dirt, won the night number 1 deal over there. He's got 2 tour race wins in the Dirt Race Central Tour. That's 5 wins and 9 tries. Over 50% of his races have ended in Victory Lane, 7 times on the podium. when the money's on the line, we know this guy can perform, right? Now we know it because he's got a couple really, really big paydays at that little race in Wisconsin called the Little Dream. Kind of owns that one. But right now he's been tough, traveling a little bit more this year than I've seen him do in years past. I'm excited about that as a race fan. He's fun to watch. Nick Trainer, the #1 driver in the power rankings for this week.